What's going on, everybody? Brave New Wave back with another one, and we have another very special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, this guest is singer, songwriter, New York's very own Brooklyn Mermaid, Maria Aliah. Maria, how you doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, fantastic, and I'm so glad to have you on the pod because I've been tuned into your music for years now, since I want to say since the very beginning of your career, and
Yes.
to see the evolution up to this point. I mean, like, wow. I'm just really stoked, and I'm really excited to just finally sit down with you and talk about it.
Yes, definitely. I'm excited to talk about it.
Absolutely. So let's do it. Let's jump right into it. Um, so you're from New York, right? Brooklyn
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah. Brooklyn. Yep.
All right, cool. Tell us more about that, like growing up in New York, what that was like, and what ultimately led you to, pursue a career in music.
Um, well, growing up in New York, as you can see, it's very crazy. New York is just New York in itself. Um, it's definitely had a lot of its challenges, its ups, its downs. But music was always something that was always in like an interest of mine since I was young. And I never really like took it serious until I was in middle school. That's when I kind of started to do write music. I started to go like on these shows and do different things like that. And that's when I wanted to really like become a singer. So yeah, I mean, I think just being in New York, it kind of gives you tough skin. You kind of have to have that tough skin being here, but ultimately it just made me want to chase that dream even harder by being here too. So
Yeah, I mean, I lived in New York for like almost a year in Harlem,
yeah,
right there
yeah.
off
You
125th
know.
and Frederick Douglass. Yeah, I could attest to that, man. It's a very first of all, like when you come from where I'm from, New Orleans, Louisiana, which is, I mean, there's still hustle and bustle there, but it's comparatively more laid back than New York, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you said, when you get out there, there is that type of culture and that environment of like you just gotta grind. Everybody's chasing their dream, whatever the dream may be, and everybody's out there like they're just extremely motivated to make something happen, make something shake every single day of the week. Um, and so yeah, I could see how that literally would motivate and inspire and just jump into the spirit of anybody, especially anybody that's in the entertainment industry. Because like you said, there's opportunities everywhere to show, your talent, whether it's like community theater, or you could just set up shop on the corner of a street and start singing
Right.
and performing or whatever you do, and you're gonna get eyes on you. So you started off doing covers, right? Like different like covers, whether it's in clubs or bars or even on social media. Talk more
Yeah.
about that. Like the covers, was that something that you saw as another avenue towards a lucrative career in music, or did you kind of do it as a form of self expression first, and then it became something that later on uh would like benefit?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the beginning, like I said, when I first started, it was kind of like I was like confused. I didn't really know how to go about putting my music out there and what routes to go to. So for me, I'm a very creative person. Like when I have something in my head, I just have to like bring it out and let it out. So I usually would always make the covers if I felt like doing that. And I would post them and then just see the feedback that I would get. And then from there, I would I'm like, okay, people like this, so I'm gonna make more of this type of content when it comes to music and so forth. And so that's kind of pretty much what I would do. But the covers was just something to do just for fun, but also just to show people that like I can do different types of songs. And then I was also doing like just making up my own songs and then seeing what people would gravitate towards. And then that's like, whatever album I'll make next is gonna be kind of what they kind of liked, if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's actually extremely smart because like,
Yeah.
I mean, you could have did it your way and just said like, man, fuck what people think. I'm just gonna put
Right.
out what I put out, and the people that fuck with it. The ones that don't, don't. But that's kind of smart in a way because like you're kind of trying a little bit of everything and putting a little bit of everything out, And whatever is, like you said, getting the most attention and the most positive feedback, you're like, okay, that's kind of the lane that I'm gonna go into.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's extremely smart for somebody who wants to like, you want to get the max benefit out of it, right?
Yeah.
You want to, like, especially if you want to, again, like, monetize, you gotta kind of have to tap into and keep a pulse on what the people want.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the people are going to be the ones like buying my album or whatever they might do. They're going to be the ones to do that. So I have to make sure that I like pique their interest too, even if it's just a little bit, you know?
Yeah, and like I said, it's a balance, right? I mean, you don't. I'm not saying like people should compromise what they want to do, like the type of music that they want to make and the type of content that they want to make.
Right.
But you got to kind of play the game, right?
Right.
You got to kind of play the game, at least a little bit to get to where you want to get to, you
Right.
know. So you're doing these covers, you're starting to gain traction on social media and start to get a little buzz throughout the city. And in 2021, you released your EP Retrograde. And
Yes.
this is available on all major streaming platforms.
Mhm.
I tell you what, I listened to it, and it was honestly one of my favorite independent projects of 2021. Like top
Really?
two, yeah, top two, absolutely. And I say that because not only did you show and really like showcase your vocal ability, you showed the ability to like write songs, you showed your ability to put a song together, and you showed all kind of different looks throughout the EP. You know what I'm saying? You did a dance track, you did like a sultry R&B track, you did what I call like a trap soul kind of sounding track.
Mhm.
And none of it sounded like out of place for you. Like, I mean, you just like seamlessly was able to navigate through these different subgenres of R&B and do it successfully. So tell us a little bit about what the process was for making that project, and I mean what that was like for you for your very first big EP to finally be done. You know what I'm saying? The cover art is looking official, and you
Yeah.
getting it on all of these DSPs and streaming platforms, and getting people's reaction from it.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely exciting, of course, because it was like I feel like that was one of the main projects that I've ever did, like the ones that I was actually very excited about. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback about it, so that was really good. But it was kind of like definitely a process. Like I didn't expect it to be, I mean, I expected it to be a lot of work, but I didn't expect it to be so like I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like I really had to make sure that it was perfect in a way. Like, you know, there were even when I came out, I still heard some things that were like, I don't know if I like it, but no one really noticed what I noticed. But it was definitely just a fun experience overall to just be able to create something that people can like be like, wow, okay, this is a whole new side to her. This is something that I haven't heard before. Um, so yeah, it was exciting. It was tiring, but a good kind of tiring, like something that you enjoy doing. And yeah, I was just really excited for people to hear it and just to see what they thought about it. So
So as a new artist, what was the most what would you say was the most challenging aspect of putting that project together and putting it out? Like, um was it the actual process of recording, or was it like dealing with certain what's the word I'm looking for, having to navigate through certain like types of red tape, right? Whether it's
yeah.
like dealing with the streaming services, or like maybe problems with management, or like what kind of roadblocks did you have to kind of overcome to get this album out, or not this album, this EP out?
Well, I mean, as for that whole like streaming stuff, that was my manager's doing, so I didn't really have to like stress about that, thankfully. But on my part, I would say that it was the difficult part for me was the recording because like I had to make sure that every word was correct. I had to make sure I had the tone was right. And so sometimes I'd have to like literally go back to the song and redo it sometimes. And that like I'm telling you, but like when you sing a song and stuff and you write a song and record it, it takes like all day, like from morning to night. And sometimes it might even like cross over into the next day. So even though, yes, I enjoy singing, I enjoy doing music, sometimes it can be super tiring. And like sometimes you feel like you need a break, you know? So that was probably like the part that was a little difficult for me a little bit, but nothing that I can't handle, but you know. So.
Yeah, but that attention to detail is gonna go a long way. Cause
Right.
I mean, listen, I studied music for like 6 years, played 3 different instruments, and I understand the importance of like, okay, the like you need to have like proper diction whenever you're like rapping, especially when you're rapping, but also when you're singing, right? You have to have like proper breath control. Tone is very important. Tone and pitch is very important. Like all of these very subtle things that make a very big difference in the final product. And I think a lot of people, they go into it like not really. It's not that they don't know, but it's like they kind of don't give
don't
it as
realize,
much detail as it's, you know,
yeah.
as it's required to
Right.
have a really, really great sounding project.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually a really good habit, right? A lot of the greatest singers and songwriters of all time, you know, they just have that sort of attention to detail to a point where like they will just like nail and hammer and pick at one track, just like one song out of 20 all day, every day, and make sure it's right, and then move on to the next one, you know?
Yep.
I think Michael Jackson was famous for that. You know, he would have a project with like 18, 20 songs on it, and he would spend like, I think they said like a week or 2 weeks on just one song, just like tweaking it to the point where it's where he wants it to be, because he wanted every song to sound a certain way. He wanted it to be mixed a certain way, and if it wasn't up to his standards, then it wasn't being released.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally get it, because you want to be able to, you want people to hear you in the way that you envision yourself when you're singing that in a way, like, you know what I'm saying? So if it comes out and you hear it and it's not exactly what you thought, then it kind of frustrates you a little bit. Either way, I mean, if people love you, they love you. So regardless, they're gonna like it, but you're gonna still have those things in your head, like, I don't know, you know?
Absolutely. Is that does that annoy you sometimes though about yourself? Like, do you sometimes wish that you weren't as like particular?
Oh yeah, of course I do. I kind of wish I just like could put something out and just like, all right, cool. But I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my music for sure. Like I have like a vision with a certain song or a certain tone or a note, and if it's not like that, then I have to just do it again. So
What's the most you ever had to re-record a song or like redo a song?
probably like 3 times. Yeah.
That's not bad.
It's not bad for you, but I'm recording it and like doing the lyrics over again, and then all that, and then not to mention, like I would re-record it, but then also change it too. Like some of the lyrics would be the same, so it's like a whole process.
Which song was that, if you could say?
I believe it was I think it was Shoulda Coulda, I believe, because if you listen to that song, it's very like fast and stuff, and it was a different kind of lane for me because I didn't really ever make a song kind of like that, so I had to make sure the lyrics were good, and then I had to redo some of the notes and change them and all that. So yeah, that one also too much.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember Shoulda Coulda. That was a deep one. Yeah. For real. Okay, so this comes out. Do you kind of sit in the in that success of like you finally put a project out, right? Like, do you give yourself time to like take it all in, or is it immediately back to work for you?
It's a little bit of both. For me, it's like once I put something out and I already see that people are gravitating towards it, I want to work on the next thing already. But I haven't. I have some things that I'm working on now, and I'm excited about it. But I'm just like, I'm kind of just like, people don't know that I'm working on things right now, so it's kind of like under wraps. But once it comes out and people hear it, I'll be excited about it. But yeah, so we'll see where that goes, because this is a whole different kind of route that I'm going for right now.
Yeah, you are really low key with like the fact that you work on music, because like on your socials, like it doesn't really look like you're doing much. But then like for instance, I want like a couple days ago you dropped the EP on not an EP, LP on SoundCloud, Heart Casualties, and that just seemed like it just came out the blue.
I know.
So was that always something that you do you consciously do that? Like, do you consciously say like you're gonna like really stay low profile on the fact that you're working on new music and you're just gonna put it out when it comes out?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of did that on purpose because I feel like a lot of people were asking me when my new stuff is coming out or when something's coming out. And like Hard Casualties was already done. Like that actually was done when the whole album was done. That was actually supposed to be on the album, but for some reason it just wasn't. So I'm kind of
Wow.
glad it wasn't. Yeah, so it was kind of like a single that I wanted to just put out because that was one of my favorite songs actually. So I put it out because people were like, when is more music coming? So I was just like, here you go, here's something. So that's kind of what I did.
Yeah,
So.
you had to feed the streets.
Yeah, I had to.
So what was the reason behind putting it on SoundCloud? Was that solely because you're an independent artist, or
That was actually my manager. He put it on SoundCloud. I think it
okay.
was maybe, I don't know why, it wasn't on Apple Music or whatever. I think maybe he just purposely wanted to just be on SoundCloud first, see how people like gravitated towards it or whatever. And then maybe it'll go on Apple Music. But so far, a lot of people liked it. So I don't know. A lot of people are asking me if it can be on other platforms as well. And I'm going to try my best to do that so people can hear it.
Okay, talk to me about the current state of the music industry, right? How you feel about it? You like it? You love it?
I have mixed feelings about it, to be honest. I feel like when I first was younger and I was like, into the whole music thing, I didn't realize how I thought like the music industry was like, oh my God, you can get in the music industry and all this stuff and it's exciting. And not to say it's not exciting now, but it's just as I got older and started to like work with different people, I realized like the thing with the industry is there's so many ins and outs, there's so many ups and there's some ups, but there's a lot of downs too. And it's like you gotta have like you have to trust people, and that's a hard thing because in industry you really can't trust anybody, and it's kind of shady. It's everything that they say about it is pretty much true. So that's why it's like you have to really find your people and stick to those people and like make sure you trust them because a lot of people will like say they got your back and say you could trust them, and then they'll just like turn on you or basically do you dirty. So yeah, it's definitely the music industry is definitely a very crazy place. But yeah, you gotta have to have tough skin to get into it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are your expectations for the music shit, right? Do you want to reach like that superstar level, like that just pop star level, or would you be content with just like making music that you want to make for your fans and just like riding that wave from there?
Honestly, I'm at the place where I'm just like whatever happens. I genuinely enjoy making music. I genuinely enjoy putting things out. And it just I want to be an artist, but at the same time, like I don't know if I want that whole fame and being a super, big artist and stuff. Like if that happens, then cool. I don't mind it. But I just want to like do what I love and get paid for it, basically. Like just getting paid for something that you're good at doing, it would be amazing. So that's kind of where I'm at, basically. So
Yeah, I feel that. I mean that's like the perfect medium. Is like you said, that you get to create and you get to make what you want to make for the people that you're making it for,
right.
outside of yourself, of course. And you're getting paid just enough to be comfortable.
Exactly. Yep.
Like you said, you don't have to worry about like everybody trying to be in your business and having to meet all of these like super unrealistic ass expectations from the industry at large. Yeah, that's and that's commendable too, because and that level of awareness, I think that'll take you a long way, because a lot of people are still they lack that. You know what I'm saying? They get into it. One thing, and it's easy. It's gonna be a super easy process, and they think that like just solely from music alone that they're gonna make all of these millions and billions. And I mean, unless you're Drake, or unless you're Lil Baby, unless you're like Nicki Minaj, unless you have the intangibles, right? Then that it's a really long, hard road. Not to say that it can't be done, but you just have to have that you have to be mindful, right?
Right. I mean,
Because it keeps you prepared.
Yeah, I mean, the industry, like, it's also about connections, and it's like you could be an artist who's not really like the most talented, but like, you have, you have some talent, but it's not like you're not the most talented. But if you know somebody that can get you where you need to be, that's a wrap. Like that's it. You're there. So it's really all about connections as well. Like I used to think that it was really about the music and like, how you sing, how you rap, whatever, like your talent. It's really not. Like it's more so um, you know, the traffic that you bring in with your music or with your rap, whatever you do. It's about the if you're bringing in money, if you're bringing in some type of thing, then they'll like the industry will definitely want to use you for that. You know, it sucks because back then, in the old times when you can sing and have a talent, that they like that was real and raw. Like you were just talented. You're famous already because you have a talent. But now it's not really about your singing. It's not about your voice. It's about how much money you can make, how much followers you bring in, how much all of that, which sucks. But I'm kind of trying to change that. I'm trying to make it so that like people can like realize talent too. Like it's about talent too. It's not just about the other stuff. So
Yeah, that does suck because I mean, yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. And like in today's age, especially the social media era, the shenanigans take precedence over the actual music.
Yep.
So like you said, like if you draw a crowd, if you draw audience, then you're the one that gets like pushed to the front. Whereas people who like they're, what I'm saying, they're not really all for like the extra shit and they just want to rap or they just want to sing or they just want to make music. It's a harder road for them to take because they're not as in the limelight, if that makes sense.
It's basically going independent. Like if you're an independent artist, like for example, like you said, Russ, like I think he's an independent artist, but he's really successful at it. And he's basically an example of what you could be if you continue to, go the independent route and like just keep pushing and working at it. Like that's what you could potentially become. But in some cases it's kind of rare because like it's harder, and like that's why like with the industry it's so fast to get connected because like one call, one this and one that, and they got you there. Like you're on the radio, you're on TV, and they push where you need to be. But with independency, you kind of have to like do everything on your own or find someone to do it and like out of your own pocket, So
yeah. And that's why it also pays to pays.
Right.
No pun intended. It also pays to understand like the business part of the industry as well. Like that's the most important part. I think it's like 40% talent, like the rest is like business acumen, right? Because the old saying is it's nobody's business to teach you business. So you as a new up and coming artist, you really have to take the initiative to learn the ins and outs of like, okay, this is how these contracts are constructed, right? This is how they get your ass. This is how you can protect yourself and your brand from being taken advantage of. And I think the newer artists, they're getting a lot better at that. I think they see the mistakes that the previous generation made in regards to doing business with record labels or what have you. And it's a combination of like, okay, you're not about to fucking play with us like that. And also like the OG stepping in and saying like, listen, like I went through this, I'm gonna give you the game so that you ain't got to go through the same thing. I mean, if you choose to go that route, you know what I'm saying? Because that's another thing too. It's a lot of guys that come from nothing. So when they get that big contract and they see that large lump sum of money, you know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna take it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna take it because you tired of just struggling every day. So you're gonna take whatever a record label could give you, and unfortunately you fall into that trap. But again, like we said earlier, it takes a level of awareness and a level of toughness. You got to be able to have enough discipline and wherewithal to say like, okay, I'm gonna play the long game because in the end, like, yeah, I might have to struggle a little bit longer, but it's gonna be worth it because I'm gonna get what I want to get out of it.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, even like with signing contracts and stuff, like you said about the large sum of money, like that goes by fast. Like, don't let that fool you. You'll see it. Like, even me, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like when I seen people talk about, potential contracts and how much they wanted to give and this and that, like of course it's exciting because it's money, like, oh my gosh. But then you don't realize like after like a certain amount of time that is gonna go like fly by, and not to mention you also have to pay all of that back to them. So it's just like it's a whole bunch of things. That's why people would rather be independent, because all that money goes to you. But it's like I said, it's harder, and it's just a whole other thing in itself. So
yeah, and you gotta know how to, if you're gonna do that, you gotta know how to finesse too. Because I've heard a lot. I've heard some artists, they'll take and this is free game, by the way, but like I've heard some artists, they'll take that large lump sum that the label gives them, because like you said, it's a loan, right? Like
yep.
I mean, shit, a couple of recording sessions at the studio, it'll probably take up like what, 40% of that, depending on where you record at. And they're gonna try to make sure that they send you to like the nicest fucking recording studio that's available. You know what I'm saying? But you know, they got some artists that they'll take that lump sum and they'll go they'll set up a studio in a crib. You know what I'm saying? And it'll save them money. That's less that they have to pay back. So again, it takes a bit of a thought. But there are ways around it to where, you know what I'm saying, you could look at the label as a bank and maneuver through that to where, like, you know, you don't get shafted.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, it's all a game, man. You just gotta learn how to play the game. Some people play the game better than others, but I mean, it's give and take.
Right.
All right, so let's play a little game.
Okay.
So the portion of this pod is called Tidal Wave. And how it works is I'm going to ask you a series of like super random questions, and you're going to answer them as honestly as you can. All right.
Okay.
All right. So let's get into it. Question number 1 is a money or a legacy?
I would definitely say a legacy.
Okay. Why legacy?
Because I want my name to live on. Like, I want people to know me after I'm gone. And like, I want to actually make an impact, you know, because money comes and goes, and I'm pretty sure I'll still be making money, because if people are still listening to me, then that's like the royalty checks and all that. I'm still going to get money. So either way, definitely legacy.
Okay. Yeah. Question number 2. If you were trapped in a cabin during a snowstorm, right, and it was a couple hours before rescue, and all you had in there was a TV and a VCR player, and you could only watch one movie until you're rescued, what movie would that be?
The Lion King.
Oh, that's a perfect choice. Oh, man. Yo, that's wow. That's the best answer I got for that question so far.
That's my favorite all-time movie, like, ever. You know, as the first, you know, kid movie, child, whatever. But like, I don't care. I'm big, but I still love The Lion King. So. Yeah.
Between Lion King and Hercules, I could watch those back to back all day until I die. Yeah, like, for Hercules, real. Yeah. All right. Question number 3. And you can take your time with this one.
Okay.
What are your top 5 most influential albums? And if you can't think of 5 albums, top 5 influential songs. And this is your opinion.
Okay. I'm going to go with songs because I can't really think of albums. I probably have to say Whitney Houston's, this is not in any particular order, by the way. Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. That's iconic to me. Michael Jackson, You Rock My World. Is it You Rock My World? Yeah, I think it is. What else? I have to say Kehlani. I think her album is called Distraction. But yeah, that one. Drake's album Take Care. And the last one I would say is, do I have one? I don't know. The last one I would say maybe, how can I forget? Bryson Tiller. The album where he had Don't in it. I don't know.
I think that was Trap Soul. I think that was his first album. Yeah.
That one for sure. So I would say those.
All right, that's a solid top 5. Okay, next question. What artist, dead or alive, would you like love to work with?
That's a good question. I actually think I would work with Michael Jackson. I know he's dead, but like you said, dead or alive, but he's iconic to me. Like, he's the only one I know that can, like, his music was so, it just speaks for itself. Like, it's so different, but it's so like it's R&B, it's pop, it's so many different things put together. And I feel like if I made a song with him, it would just be so iconic, and like I would listen to it over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. He set the standard for pop music.
I
I mean, he really
know.
did.
He just like said it and then he just dipped. Like that's it now. I don't know who else is gonna go after that. But
Shit. I can't think of anybody.
I mean, I think Chris Brown is trying to kind of go to his lane a little bit. If you notice, like even with his dancing and stuff, I feel like he's trying to, I don't want to say imitate Michael, but kind of be like him in some ways. But yeah.
I would say, I mean, yeah, that's always a safe pick, right? Is Chris Brown, because I mean, yeah, he, like you said, you could really see the influence there.
Yeah.
That's just hard. Like it's like for somebody to come behind and like match that,
Exactly.
fuck topping it, because you can't top that, in my opinion.
Right.
That's gonna take a lot, because I mean, like again, it goes back to like his mentality when it came to music. Like this man did an interview where he said, like when him and Quincy Jones did a lot of music together, his whole mentality was like every song on the album had to sound like it could be on the radio. Like every song on the album he approached like it was gonna be a hit single. So there was like no fillers, like everything has to be on point. Like you're not gonna want to skip not one song.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Absolutely. Okay. So we got Mike Jack. All right, last question. What would be like your dream performance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it might be headlining Coachella, it might be, you know what I'm saying? It might be the Super Bowl. Like what, like in your opinion, what is your dream performance?
Definitely the Super Bowl. I've always like, I always wanted to sing like in a huge stadium and like just hear everybody, and like I don't know, like you know, like the performances you see with Beyonce and all that stuff. Like I kind of wanted to just be in the middle and just, I feel like if I'm there, then I know I made it. Like I know that that's it for me. But yeah, I don't know about Coachella. I've never been to Coachella. I've never seen it or anything like that. So I don't know what it's really about. But I've seen the Super Bowl and all that. So I definitely want to perform there.
Yeah, I've never been to Coachella either, but I know people down here that have gone, and they say it's definitely like it lives up to the hype.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Yeah. So definitely got to check that out one day.
Yeah.
All right, Maria, you made it through the tidal wave. Congratulations. You kind of just like easily just like breeze through that. So I'm impressed.
Is this the most hard?
So onward for Maria Aliah, right? Mm-hmm. What's next for you, and where do you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years?
Well, what's next for me is definitely new music. A lot of I feel like as I got older, my music kind of got older with me and like grew with me. So you guys get to see kind of my growth, and even with my voice, like the difference between my, you know, when I was younger and now. So definitely new music is coming, and in the near future, I just see a lot of new music. I see a lot of new content. I see more content, like for sure. I'm gonna be putting out a music video very soon. Another one, and yeah, I'm just excited to see where this is gonna take me, and like just see where, you know, everyone's gonna kind of ride that wave with me and be a part of it. Like I'm gonna be very interactive with this now. So I'm excited.
Yeah, you do a really good job interacting with your fans, and like I said, just keeping your finger on the pulse of like what the streets want, right? Yeah. So I mean, yeah. That being said, I'm excited. I'm really anxious to hear, you know, what you have cooking up next, because like I said, that EP you dropped in last year, that was amazing. So yeah, just keep working, keep grinding, and just know like it's a again, no pun intended, it's like a whole wave of people that's just like anticipating whatever you're gonna do next music wise.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm excited to just like, you know, even today, it's funny that you said, like, if someone messaged me today and was like, I posted like a picture on Snapchat, and then they were just like, hello, where's your music at? Like, I'm like, I'm gonna post something soon, don't worry. And they're like, all right, until then, I'm just gonna listen to something else. But I'm really like excited, because like I've had a little moment where I felt like I was gonna give up on music, because I was like really not inspired. I didn't have anything going on, and I just was like kind of getting into a little bit of a depression state with that. But I realized like it wasn't really so much of that. I just had to turn it on. Like I had to just sit there and listen to some beats and like get back into my zone. And once I did that, I was like, okay, wait, like I still have this. I still have it going on. I just have to like tap into it. So, it's like when you're creative with whatever you do, whether it's singing, whatever it is, it's in the mind, and you kind of have to just tap into it and just get back into that zone and your happy place, and everything will just come out naturally. So, yeah.
Well fucking spoken. Maria, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Again, super excited to hear some new music. And yeah, I mean, I hate to hold you up on your Saturday night, but man, this was really great. Thank you.
No, thank you so much for having me. It was really, really exciting to do this. So
Absolutely. All right, y'all. That was Maria Aliah. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you for the next one. Thank you.
bye.